Hey, how's it going? Heretics, James here. So it is 6 in the morning. So once again, going to go travel for another event. Now this event is down in Clayton, North Carolina. So there's not a game store there. We are actually playing at a brewery, and this one is ran by a guy that I've played in multiple battle reports, Jason. They started up a new gaming group called Legion and Redacted, and they're starting to run their own tournaments. So I wanted to go out there, give them a bit of support. This is probably the last one I'm traveling to for a little while. But yeah, I wanted to go give some support to the new gaming group. So let's go take some chaos and see what happens. Hey, how's it going, Heretics? James here. So at the Instill Distilling Company, this is where we're having our RTT for the day. So it's hosted by Legion Redacted. So sorry about the cars. And yeah, we'll go inside. We'll see what's going on. So just caveat to the games today. So excellent venue. I'm really excited. I did get sick on my way to the venue. So if I'm not 100%, I'm sorry. I will try to stick it out and get all 3 games in, but might end up ending this video early, so we'll see. Hopefully give some guys some good games. So and thanks to Jason. Jason gave me a Gatorade to try to help me feel better. So
all right, is Arthur Warren here?
Yes.
Cool.
We got him. I checked him in.
It didn't work on here. Cool. Thanks for the update. What about David Heatwolf? Heatwole.
He's not here right
Not here right now. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome. We're gonna get started in a few minutes. Waiting for some last minute check-ins. This is Instill Distillery. This is Eric. This is his location. He's gonna give you some stuff to talk or listen to. So
hey guys, thank you so much for coming out here, man. This is awesome. I'm blown away, man. All the passion in this room is killer. I know nothing about this, so I can't wait to learn and see what you guys are all about. Couple of housekeeping rules. Guys, we built this, we're 3 guys that built this distillery from the ground up. We have no major investor, no bank loans, no credit cards. Like, this is our money that we put forth in this. We are a better known and operated company. So if you get hurt or something goes crazy today, don't sue me for $5 or dollars, because that's all I have. It'll be a waste of your time, I promise. If you'd like to support us, that would be great. I do have monsters for sale, Gatorade for sale, water for sale. Jason sells Joko. Will be donating pizzas starting at 4 o'clock. We have a food truck out front. Please give him some love and some support. I will be serving cocktails. Be responsible, okay? You guys are gonna be here for a long day. Don't get ahead of yourself. If you do, that's cool. Come talk to me, pull me aside, or just, I'm not gonna shame you. I will call you and pay for your Uber personally. I would rather do that than see one of you guys get hurt today. Other than that, bathrooms are right here. Kind of clean up after yourself, because I'm the one that has to clean those bathrooms. And nobody on this side, if you could, unless you're with me and you want a tour. There will be people coming through here. Please treat them with respect. They are my customers. I'd love to have you guys back here again. And so just if you could help make them feel welcome. I think you're going to get a lot of people that come in here and be like, just kind of say, hey, no, come on in. The bar's open. Come on in. You know, yeah. Don't growl at them. Other than that, we are super big patriots here, so we have the flag behind us. I'd like to lead us off with the Pledge of Allegiance really quick, because I think any good ball game starts off with a Pledge of Allegiance, right? All right, guys, so I'll lead us off, hopefully I don't forget the words. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball! Always wanted to say that.
Alright, so I forgot to mention what I was playing today. So this is actually filmed after Game 1. So I'm taking a double battalion. I took Red Corsairs and Nightlords, and a single Spearhead. The Spearhead is all Alpha Legion. So for the Alpha Legion Spearhead, I have a Power Fist Lord, a Hellforge Scorpius, and 6 Obliterators, 2 units of 3. Then for the Nightlords, I have a battalion. I have 3 units of 10 Cultists. One has 11 because I had a few extra points. 10 Warp Talons, 10 Terminators, all with Combi Bolters, and 3 with Power Fists. And then for the Red Corsairs, I have 15 Marines, 1 Master of Executions, and 1 Sorcerer. Super easy, 2,000 points, trying something different. We'll see what ends up happening. Alright, so my first game is against Frankie. Hi, Frankie! Yay! And this beautiful Ultramarine. So he is going first. I failed to seize. And yeah, I'm going to do some shenanigans for Alpha Legion and let him go first. So we will be right back.
All right, so the end of game 1, I am tabled. So Frankie tabled me on turn 5. We just kind of figured out what was going to happen. I only had 18 points. He had 33. I only had like 18. I do have 33.
I have 36, 13.
Well, we'll figure it out. Because I don't think I had 13 points. I'm pretty sure I have more than that. But anyways, so basically what happened, Frankie almost had me tabled. I literally had an Obliterator and a Sorcerer left on turn 2 because he went first, Marines. So then I actually got my second turn. Stuff came in, made all my charges, which was really, really good. Was able to kill a lot of stuff. And then my dice abandoned me. He picked up almost half the Terminators, almost all my Obliterators. The Warp Talons were still alive. Biggest thing that happened was I actually had my Warlord HQ. He charged over here into his 2 headquarters here, and then I rolled a 1 for the Demon Weapon with no CP. And so just wet noodled him, and then he killed my Warlord because I was going to kill his Warlord. So yeah, but it was still a good game. Made the best of it. Didn't come here expecting anything. So Frankie, what'd you think?
This was a lot of fun. That was so scary. Everything dropped down and got all the charges up. I was terrified. So the Nightlords did their job, and the Alpha Legion, as a matter of fact.
Yes, they did. They did. Yeah, had I maybe gone first, I think I might have been able to make it a game. But yeah, he picked up just way too much stuff way too early, and that's what happens when you have nowhere to hide. But hey, great game, buddy.
You as well, bud. Thank you, as always.
And see you guys in the next game. All right, so game 2 against Adam. Hi, Adam. You just seized. So it's Slanesh versus, well, me. You guys already know what I'm playing. And he did roll to seize. He has seized, so I get to do fun Alpha Legion-y things. And yeah, we'll see what happens at the end of Adam's turn 1. All right, end of the game. I'm out of breath. Adam, awesome game. We'll get your thoughts here in a second. Big things that happened. I misplayed my Terminators. I sent them in to kill just 1 single Sorcerer. They did their job, but I don't think it was worth it. They didn't do anything else the rest of the game. Huge scrum here in the middle. I will say the Emperor's Children. Terminators with the 5 toughness is really good. Haven't faced him yet. That was really good. We've talked about it, but nobody's used it. Over here, I had Obliterators in that corner, and he sent all 30 Demonettes to deal with the 3 Obliterators. Caveat to that, they did kill Celeste, so yeah. And then that's about it. So the end of the game was 28-20. So thoughts, sir?
Watch out for the angles the Oblitz can get. Watch out for the Terminators coming in. It was a wonderful game, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here, and yeah. So got to get the handshake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And see you guys in the next game. All right, so I'm going to caveat this video. The irony of this entire day does not escape me. I am playing Jack. So he just won that tournament that you guys saw. So he's playing the exact same list that he brought to my tournament. So we've already rolled off. This is the deployment. He's bringing the triple Derridios with Mortarion, and I've got my Obliterator shenanigans going on here. I actually seized, so I've actually moved up the Obliterators and their Lord buddy up there. And then, yeah, all these guys are off the table. I'm going to move them here in a second. Other than that, everybody's kind of back here. So, yeah, let's get into turn 1. All right, so the end of game 3. This guy is salty. Nothing that Jack did wrong. My dice just completely evacuated the building. I shot Morty probably, I don't know. I can't even count how many times the Scorpius shot him, and either he made the saves or I failed the wounds. As a matter of fact, I shot 12 times or something on the very last turn and failed to even wound him once. Yeah, so I felt like I was doing good, and then just, yeah, you can't beat dice. Literally the only model I've left is a guy hiding out down there. So what did you think of the game, Jack?
It was good. Your dice definitely made it you. Because I thought you had me after turn 2.
Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is, man. No, hopefully you like the game. Good job, and yeah, I'm gonna go home early because there's no reason to stay around. So.
Hey, how's it going, guys? James here. So sorry, this battle report was not my best. Like I said, I was sick before I went in. I started feeling better about halfway through the first round, so I want to say thanks to Jason, one of the TOs, because he gave me the Gatorade, and I started feeling better. Don't know what happened. It was just a really weird, like, not feeling good thing. So And Frankie stuck in there with me, and we had a good first game. So, how should we break this down? So the venue. So thank you for Eric at Instill Brewing Company. The venue was really, really awesome. I liked it a lot. It was a really nice brewery. Lots of table space. Like, there was plenty of space for everybody to play. So I hope that they host this again. It was awesome. They had a food truck outside and all sorts of cool stuff. So, and Clayton, nice little town. So it's right outside of Raleigh, and so it's still a long drive for me, but it was a lot of fun. And thanks to the guys from Legion Redacted for running the event, Josh, Jason, and I can't remember the other two guys' names. Thank you guys for running the event. It was a lot of fun. Now, as far as my rounds, so game 1 against Frankie was awesome. It was really, really close there for a bit. He basically almost had me tabled on turn 1. And so I just had to play really cagey, and a few die rolls went my way, and I was left with at least just enough that I was able to deep strike. Deep struck in, luck swung my way for once. I got off all my charges and everything. Now, some key things did happen. For example, one of his contemptors lived when it should have died. As I double tapped the obliterators. I forgot Duty Eternal was 1 CP. I thought it was 2. Which is all my fault. 100% my fault, because I should have rerolled the damage roll there. But made all my charges, picked up a lot of things. And then luck swung the other way. He was able to... he killed half my Terminators with just his plasma on his dudes. Wiped out my entire back line. I lost everything there. And yeah, I thought I still had a fighting chance. And then I went for a run on his Warlord, rolled a 1 for my Demon Weapon with no CP left, which meant I fed him my Warlord, which gave him 2 free points. And then my Terminators, for some reason, couldn't kill freaking 5 TAC Marines on the charge. And that was with Power Fist, by the way. So yeah, it did not go my way. And then I basically got tabled. Because that was the only thing holding me in the game, was the things that I deep struck in. Because his Chaplain Dreadnought was killing obliterators left and right with his little powery clawy thing. And yeah, but Frankie, well deserved. It was a good game. He definitely had me on the back foot from the beginning of the game. The Scorpius couldn't do anything, and I did blow CP on like random stuff. I was really hemorrhaging CP to just try to stay alive. By the time my stuff deep struck in on turn 2, I think I had 4 CP left, which is no bueno, right? Had his grav pod guys gotten a beat on the obliterators, and I didn't have those things in the way. I would have lost the obliterators too, which would have meant I would have lost on turn 1, which would have not been fun for either of us. So, but good game, Frankie. His list was really cool. I liked it. And yeah. Game 2 against Adam was a lot of fun. He was a great opponent with his Emperor's Children. He had some cool tricks going in there that I haven't really thought about. There are things that you can do that I didn't think about. Like, for example, using We Have Come For You with bikers. That way you can't fall back. Basically warp timing him up there. Now, he was just using bolters on his bikers. And after... Excuse me. Whew. Oh, I don't know what that was. My body rate, I was like, wow. But yeah, against Adam, so I'll edit that part out. Game 2 against Adam was a lot of fun. And he was a great opponent. He had some really cool ideas. For example, using We Have Come For You with bikers. I hadn't thought of doing that, so he did the whole warp time and having all the vulture shots from bikers. Bikers are a hell of a lot harder to remove than Terminators. I'll tell you that for some reason. I think it's the toughness 5. But he also had the toughness 5 Terminators, which were a hell of a lot harder to remove than my toughness 4 Terminators. So it might be something I look into doing here in the future. But, and on top of it, with the Emperor's Children, you always fight first, which is really cool. Yeah, so that game was actually a lot closer than it looked. He was making a hell of a lot of saves, and I completely misplayed the Terminators. I put him in the corner, went for his dude that had he was a Field Marshal, but I thought it was his Warlord. So that was my fault, because I did have old school. and completely misplayed the Terminators. They were out of the game for like 2 or 3 turns. They couldn't do anything because they were too busy just trying to move, which sucked. And I picked Recon because I kept thinking that I'd be splitting up the army, but it ended up being most of the time I was actually clumping up the army because I needed to like have the Warp Talons work together with the Terminators. And yeah, he was a really good opponent. I did some big faux pas, but he made a game of it. 20 Warp Talons wasn't a terrible idea, but they didn't really kill much either on his end. I think they helped kill my Warp Talons, and they killed some cultists. Oh no, they killed 2 of my HQs, so that was actually a big swing. Which that was a cool tactic that I haven't seen anybody use. He had the Nightlords and the Emperor's Children, so I charged the Warp Talons in, and then I charged 2 character HQs into his Warp Talons. Well, I had to pick who wanted to swing first, right? And I was like, well, I don't want all these Warp Talons to just die, so I swung the Warp Talons first to kill off a lot of the Terminators. I killed like 3 or 4 of them. And so he interrupted with the Warp Talon swing, and they picked up my Sorcerer and my Power Fist dude, which was it wasn't supposed to happen that way, which was not good. That was a huge swing in his favor. And then he gets to fight with the Emperor's Children, right? Because they always fight first. So that's something that you can do as an Emperor's Children person, because you can interrupt and then you still get to pick. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, you get to do that. That's pretty cool. I didn't think of that. Which is neat. So I might be messing around a little bit with Emperor's Children, Terminators. Yeah. And so it was a good game. It was a close one. I still had my Obliterators. I was really protecting those Obliterators like crazy. And they pulled through. They were the ones that carried that game pretty heavily for me. So. And then game 3 against Jack. So Jack was a great opponent. I'm glad that I finally got to play him. He just won my tournament. A lot of fun. We had a really close game, and then Mortarion, I was actually doing really well. I picked up all of the Death Shroud. I picked up all 3 Derrideo Dreadnoughts. I had killed most of his cultists. So basically, he had a Sorcerer, a Warpsmith, Mortarion, and some Obliterators that hadn't Deep Struck. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, right? Well, then Mortarion refuses to die for the rest of the game. I did everything in my power. I failed, like, for example, had I gotten a couple smites off, it would have worked, but I would have probably killed him. But my Hellforce Scorpions just could not dent him. He dropped in his Obliterators, picked up my Obliterators. My Warp Talons just killed cultists and then died, which was, because Anyways, I probably should have played them differently. Same thing, I should have probably put the Obliterators behind the Warp Talons and then used the concealment stratagem. That way he wouldn't have been able to shoot my Obliterators with his Obliterators. But that's hindsight. Hindsight's always 20/20, right? So, yeah, and then Mortarion proceeded to pick up. So he killed 3 Obliterators. He killed basically 10 Warp Talons. I think I might have lost 1 to something else. He killed 1 Headquarters. He double tapped with his Warpsmith, hit and wounded twice with a melty gun, and killed my Warlord. Yeah, that was. Sorry, Jack. I was like, what the hell? Like, I got mad. Because I CP rerolled to make the save on the first melty gun, and then he's like, oh, I'm Slanesh, I'm gonna double tap. And I was like, oh, what? And then the melty gun hit and wounded again. I was like, it was a terrible day. So frustrating. And then Mortarion killed all 10 Terminators by himself. Mortarion killed my Sorcerer. He killed 5, 10, 15 Marines. And he killed another 10 Cultists. And the Scorpius, because I gave him the Scorpius kill at the end when I noticed he would be able to actually charge it. So, yeah, Mortarion functionally killed my entire army by himself. The Obliterators just killed Obliterators. That was it. And then they had to advance to get on an objective because he had nothing else to hold it. Yeah. So, great game, Jack. Sorry I lost my temper there when that dice roll was just like, it was a key dice roll, and I was like, God damn it, dude, man, like, my luck is not bueno sometimes. With the rolling the 1 and killing my Warlord myself, or getting my Warlord killed, and then get my warlord killed by a random melt-a-gun from a warp smith. Anyways, so 3 great games. Thanks to you guys so much for playing with me and putting up with me with between my sickness and then losing my temper there at the end. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a break because losing your temper is not fun. And I don't like losing my temper. I didn't lose it at Jack. I lost it at my dice. I was yelling at my dice. Anyways, as far as the list goes, I would not take it in its current iteration again. So, some things that I really didn't like about Warp Talons, I do not like. I went and spent a bunch of money to buy some Warp Talons. I've put them on the table a few times, and they just don't do anything. You know what I mean? I get the general function of them is to tie stuff up and to be fast, but you have to spend CP to do all that. You can make them self-functioning, like they can just work by themselves, but they don't do very much damage if you do have a target that you want to kill. And then a lot of people do have stuff that you can't use We Have Come For You on, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and if you run out of CP, which I was hemorrhaging CP like crazy the way I was playing my list, then you can't use them, right? So that's part of that one. So yeah, Terminators are still Terminators. They died in droves like crazy. The basic loadout I kind of dig. I do like Slanesh because I can double tap in Veterans of the Long War, which is good at clearing chaff, and it can put a dent on stuff. Like, had I rolled better on Mortarion, I think I would have done a lot more wounds. I think I put 120 shots into him and only did like 5 wounds. So it just kind of shows you how my rolling was doing. And yeah, I think I could have done a lot more damage. Also, I should have saved CP for veterans on Mortarion rather than veterans on the Obliterators, so that was another thing I learned. But yeah, as far as back to the Terminators, as Nightlords, they have some cool tricks, like you can give them the +2 to charge or +1 to hit. The big issue is that they have to be fully on or touching a piece of terrain, which is very, very, very hard. I tried in every single game because they deep struck in every single game, and every single game I could not find a piece of terrain that wasn't either blocked or big enough to fit 10 Terminators. So, would I play them as Nightlords again? Probably not. However, I did really, really, really like the Emperor's Children version because that bomb does exactly what I was doing, except I can make them toughness 5 going into the game, which is actually a huge deal because that gives them a lot more survivability because I can still cast the Feel No Pain on them, and then they always fight first, which is good. So yeah, I really like that. I really like that a lot. And then I would just basically spend the 2 CP and make them toughness 5. So toughness 5 Terminators are not bad. If you ever played Blight Lords, you'll know what I mean. So which I did dig that. So that might be something I pick up on. The Jump Lords, so the Rapacious Talent Jump Lord, I really liked. I really, really liked him when he did his job. Which I misused the hell out of him, by the way. I really misused him. But he does a lot of damage. I would not take him as my primary warlord because he's more like a bullet. I took him as my primary warlord in this list, but in the future, I would probably take him as Alpha Legion and then do We Are Alpharius for the warlord trait, and then because you could take Flames of Spite that way and then spend the 1 CP for the claws. I really, really like that build. It's definitely something I'm probably going to play with again. I just need to figure out a list that I want to play it in. The Power Fist Lord, the Nurgle Power Fist. The Nurgle Power Fist is actually really good. It's like a cheaper, Thunder Hammer, but then you need to pay for the relic. So, which is a lot of CP, you know what I mean? So, would I do it again? Probably not. Also, the demon weapons, I'm realizing that especially when you have multiple demon weapons, you're just kind of setting yourself up for the fact that one of these guys is going to roll 1 and they're not going to do what you want to do. So, yeah, from now on, I think I'm just going to hold myself to 1 demon weapon, so it's either going to be the Power Fist or the Rapacious Talents. Something I learned in these games. I not once took the Flare Sword, not once, because I would always take the Power Fist. So the Power Sword Lord was just a complete and utter waste of points. Yes, he gave me the +2 inches to charge, but as a matter of fact, I used it on game 3. Well, I did use it on game 1, because luckily my Power Fist dude, or my Power Sword guy did live. But yeah, I didn't really like. I can see the allure, especially if you're taking Nightlords. But in this list, I would have had to spend 2 CP to take it. So that was kind of like where I was like, do I want it? Do I want it? Not want it? Nah. And I never took it. Do I regret it? Actually, I don't regret it even a little bit. And any of those games, I don't think it would have like been a huge deal. He ran around and killed cultists. That's kind of what he did. So he was kind of a waste of 100 points, in my opinion. Yeah. And then the Obliterators. Love the Obliterators. The Obliterators are what did 90% of the damage in any given game. And the Scorpius. So the Scorpius, no. A single Scorpius, no. The Scorpius just didn't do anything. Game 1, he almost died to an Invictus Warsuit on turn 1. Barely lived, backed up, didn't do anything. I did spend the 1 CP to shoot anyway, just to see what would happen, and he didn't do anything. Complete waste of 1 CP, by the way. And then game 2, he picked up a bunch of cultists, because he couldn't shoot at the bikers because they were tied up into cultists. And then I think it picked up the last 2 Terminators at the second to last turn. So and picked up a few Warp Talents. So that was it. And then in the last game, it just didn't want to do anything. Now, it did kill a few Death Shroud. I think it killed 2 Death Shroud. And put a few wounds on Mortarion. But that was it. Over 6 rounds, just shooting twice. It didn't do, like, 200 points of work. You know what I mean? And it could have been partially due to my luck. You know what I mean? Because I like I said, my luck is pretty... Averages don't exist in my world. I either roll well or I roll well below. So which is yeah, I don't plan on math. So as for the list as a whole, I didn't like it. I did not like it. Also, I didn't like taking... So the Marines were just CP, like, free kills. They did nothing in any given game. I took them as Red Corsairs, and I did actually advance them up the field to try to, like, do some charges and stuff. And they just died. That's what they did. They died. Same with the cultists. They just died. Like in Frankie's game, they did shield my Obliterators for a bit, but that was about all they did. So, yeah, so I didn't like the fact that I had, let's see, 120, 150, 165. So 185 or 285 points of my list was dedicated to just mandatory choices that served no function within the actual list archetype itself, other than to actually shield the 1 unit of Obliterators I kept on the table every time. And yeah, I also didn't like the fact that I felt like I was playing like Genestealer Cult, but when my list would actually drop in, it wasn't as impactful as Genestealer Cult, you know what I mean? It was definitely a lot more of an elite army. I didn't cover a lot of table space. And yeah, so I didn't really enjoy how it played, per se. Like, in my head, it looked a lot better than it did on the table. So, I would definitely make a lot of changes to this list. Now, I still am on the hunt for something that I like to play double Obliterators into. That is definitely something I'm still very much toying with in my head. I want to make double Obliterators work. I want to put them on the table and feel good about it, because I love Obliterators. A lot of people that like Nick Nanavati say that they hate them. They are my favorite unit in the Chaos Space Marines Codex. But like I said, out of the list, the things that I really liked that worked were Obliterators and the Claw Lord. So yay! At least something worked. I learned a lot about Space Marines, and shout out to Jack. Jack was helping me out in the last game, because there was a few things I was forgetting to do, like when I double tap my Slanesh things, I would actually do it like right there and then. That way I don't forget. But he's like, that's at the end of the shooting round, right? And I was like, oh, that's right, because that actually made a difference in shooting priority for me. So thank you for that, Jack. And he also taught me about the way that certain strategies. So he's a big Magic player, and I forgot how you can stack stratagems specific ways because of the way of order of activations. So as an example, he shot his obliterators, rolled the stat dice, then he spent the 1 CP to re-roll them because they were Iron Warriors, right? It's like, that's not the way it works. He's like, it's when you choose it to shoot. He's like, but I am still choosing it to shoot, right? Because this is when I choose the unit to shoot. So I get to roll, and then I get to spend the CP to do this, as opposed to spending the CP to reroll something. And then after I reroll that, then I can spend the CP for veterans. I was like, and I sat there and thought about it, and I read the strats. I was like, holy crap, you're right. It's the Magic the Gathering argument, because basically it's the stack. So you do things as the player in the order that you want to do them in a phase, because it is your turn, right? So he makes sense because he's still choosing the unit to shoot. He's doing things when he chooses the unit to shoot. Yeah, it's funky. It's kind of gamey, but he is right. So I never thought of that, and I learned something new. So thanks to Jake for that one. Will I use it? Will I not? I don't know, because I don't know when I would use it. And me personally, being older and more flighty, I tend to do things like right away because I'm like, I'm going to do this anyway, so I'm just going to do it, right? So, but that's just me. Crazy James here. But no, 3 great games, great venue. And so leave a comment below. Like us on Facebook, like us on Discord, check us out on Patreon. And hopefully, one of these days I'll actually win the tournament on my own channel. Man, don't be disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in me, but don't be disappointed in me. I keep trying new things here. So I do have another tournament on the 22nd of February, so look out for me to post that one too. Yeah, I'm not doing a lot of battle reports lately. I'm just pretty much playing a few tournaments here and there, and then I got my tournament in March, and then the tournament that I'm running in March. And yeah, I'm filming in between those. I'll do tacticas and stuff like that, because that's kind of need to play a little less and paint a little more. So yeah, see you guys around, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.